Hello, everyone. Oh yeah, we're on counterattack. Welcome to Sweet and Spicy Darling of Cupid Parasite. We are going down Shelby's route, episode 4, I think. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're on episode 5. I might make this one a little bit longer just so he doesn't have like an insane amount of episodes. Let's see, I think there was only 7 parts to Ryuki, and one of them was the bonus episodes. Part 6 was his endings. So yeah, let's make this one a little bit longer today. As much as I want to read another 9-rip video because the urban legends commentary is so much more interesting than the ghost stories, I also am curious about this counterattack. Let's see, they were going to do some land construction at the island. I forgot what they were building, but it's going to bury shrines in dirt and gravel, and the gods were not happy about it. So Venus started a hurricane, and I'm sure Mars is going to join in here soon enough. Due to the wrath of Hurricane Catherine, Lost York had been paralyzed for 2 consecutive days. Fortunately, the weather improved, allowing us to both return to work. Whoa.
あっちの木も倒れてる。すごいハリケーンだったね。まだ2番街の方は浸水してる場所があるってニュースでやってたわ。
Mom's hurricane was this powerful.
リネット、そこは店のガラスが割れていて危ない。こちら側を歩いた方がいい。
Yes, thank you. Due to the fallen trees, our usual commute by car was impossible. Instead, Shelby and I took the subway to work. Because Mom, much of Lost York had come to a standstill. The subway, having been inundated, had only just resumed service. I don't know what that means, inundated. Although it was operational, it was far from comfortable.
さすがに今日は混んでいるな。みな、我々と同じように車での出社ができないんだろう。
It says it's 60% more crowded than usual. This level of congestion was atypical for Lost York, and I found myself struggling to keep my balance. Oh, I'm sorry. I apologized when a sudden jolt of the subway caused me to bump shoulders with the person next to me. There was hardly any room to move. In the midst of my confusion, Shelby pulled me closer to him.
大丈夫か？ほら、こっちに。
Thank you. Shelby carved out a space for me in the crowded subway, offering me some much-needed comfort. Relieved, I leaned in to whisper to Shelby, hoping not to disturb those around us. I hope the office is intact.
どうだろうな。この様子を見ると、怪我人が出ていなければそれで御の字といったところだろ
う。You're right, that's our primary concern. My mind filled with the visions of the hurricane ravaging our office overnight. We're going to say both of them, but the correct answer is I hope my computer isn't broken. We're going to hope that the sign isn't broken first. The company logo plate sits atop the tall pole, doesn't it? I hope that hasn't been damaged.
そうだな。丈夫な素材で作られているはずだが、規格外の強風が吹けば、一番最初に被害を受ける場所だろうな。ポールが倒れるということはないだろうが、看板プレートが吹き飛んでいるということはありえそうだ。
True, I hope it's intact. Seeing that sign during my commute motivates me to give my best every day.
そうだったのか。
Yes, it serves as a daily reminder that I'm representing the company. It's become a routine for me. I'd be upset if it's damaged.
そうか。初耳だったが、経営者としては、社員がそういう意識を持って仕事してくれるのは嬉しいことだ。もし壊れていたら、一番早く直してもらおう。看板は会社の顔だからな。ないと困る。
Great, thank you. We chatted about various things until the train pulled into 7th Avenue. I hear sound effects again. Alright, let's go back to the beginning. I had to revisit a lot of scenes because I forgot to hit the record button whenever I went back. Let's see, we're going to hope that the computer isn't broken. I hope my computer hasn't been affected by the power outages. It contains my schedule, client details, and member information I've collected when I was an advisor. I worried that everything I had built up through my work would suddenly vanish. I couldn't bear the thought of losing years' worth of hard work.
そこは常に高セキュリティのサーバーにバックアップされるようにしているからな。データは大丈夫なはずだ。安心してくれ。それに、たとえデータがなくなっても、お前が得た経験が消えるわけではないからな。ゼロにはならないだろ。
You're right, thank you. His words, confident and optimistic, put my fears to rest. Shelby had weathered many storms as the company's president. His composure to the crisis reflected his depth as a person. We chatted about various things until the train pulled into 7th Avenue. Now that I'm looking at the choices still left, there's only 2 until the end. So, if the video is going extra long, maybe it'll have all of it in here. I don't know. There's only 2 choices left, but that doesn't mean that doesn't tell me how many sections are left and how long they are. Preparing ourselves, we stepped off the train and into the office only to find our worries had been unfounded. Huh?
うちの会社は意外と被害がなさそうだな。社員の安全も全員分確認できたと今報告が来た。
Yes, Mom made sure to avoid this place. Even then, the main street was littered with sticks and leaves. Cupid Corp remained unscathed. The signboard was intact and all the glass windows remained unbroken.
そうか。お前がいるからだろうな。
A hint of skepticism rang in his voice as he surveyed the surroundings. How's he doing?
確かに何も壊れていない。
Her mom likes her. Yes, it seems to be fine.
停電ぐらいはしているかと思ったが、全く問題なさそうだな。
How convenient. Yeah, everything seems to be normal. With only a few employees delayed due to transport issues, it was business as usual at Cupid Corp.
お前がいるからだな。
It's funny, he doesn't know what to think. He muttered to himself one more time before we plunged into the day's work. While Lost Work was dealing with the aftermath of the hurricane, I couldn't help but think about Demore Paradis. The expansion project seemed to be continuing unabated, much to our dismay.
大変だよ。あの拡張計画のせいでオイスターが大量に死んじゃうかもしれないんだ。
I thought you hated oysters. That day, as usual, Ralph showed up to deliver his mythology lecture to Shelby. However, he seemed unusually flustered. Oysters?
何の話だ？
I know, right?
だからダムールパラディ拡張計画がオイスターたちを苦しめてるんだ。
Don't tell him this. Threatening shrines.
確かラウルはオイスターが苦手だと話していたと思うが。
もちろん苦手だよ。あれは恐ろしいサタンなんだ。でもそれとこれとは別だよ。
What do you mean the oysters are dying because of the expansion project?
それが埋め立て計画されている海域はすごく豊かな海なんだ。サンゴ礁もあって綺麗で栄養豊富なんだよ。それなのに埋め立てなんてしたら海流も変わっちゃうし、水温上昇して水質も変わっちゃう。オイスターはみんな環境の変化に弱いんだ。きっと本来なら大きく育つ子たちがみんな死んじゃう。環境破壊だよ。確かにオイスターはサタンだよ。でもこんな風に人間の都合で殺したりしちゃいけないと思うんだ。
そんなことになっていたのか。ロサンヨークの環境破壊は見過ごせないな。
The counterattack is going to be them going against the project to save the environment.
絶妙なバランスの上に生態系は成り立っているからな。間違いなく何かに影響が出るだろう。
そうだよ、俺もさすがに反対だよ。サタンの逆襲はきっと恐ろしいだろうし、この間のハリケーン以上のことが起きるよ。
I seemed to be completely shaken up, but what he's saying wasn't wrong. If Dad's temple was also buried, a crisis far worse than a hurricane was certain. I know, right?
あ、そうだ、俺ギルに相談してみるよ。ギルはオイスターが好きだし、相談に乗ってくれるかも。ギルと仲良くなれたきっかけもオイスターなんだ。絶対に救ってみせる。
The foundation of our friendship.
そうだな。ギルなら力になってくれるだろう。ライターとして影響力もあるしな。
うん、ごめんシェルビー、今日の神話講義はまた今度ね。
ああ、わかった。大丈夫だ。
Rao hastily took his leave. His departure left a vacuum, and I realized we couldn't remain idle. The wrath of the gods was a ticking time bomb. What do we do? Eli wouldn't halt his plans merely due to a hurricane, let alone attribute it to divine wrath. And he wouldn't even consider the wrath of the gods was the cause. The gods had a few believers these days. Even if Dad summoned a natural disaster, it wouldn't deter Eli. Dad loathed the destruction of his temples above all else. If the storm had failed to deter them, he might resort to more drastic measures.
リネット、大丈夫か？
Shelby interrupted my spiraling thoughts by placing a hand on my shoulder. It was then that I realized I was shaking. Shelby, if Dad gets angry, Lost York could face a catastrophic disaster. It might even sink the entire Paradise Island and potentially Lost York too. The majority of people, especially those like Eli, wouldn't attribute these calamities to the gods. Consequently, there would be no halt to the plan. Environmental degradation would continue and the oysters would die out. Next, that could possibly provoke the wrath of Lord Poseidon, the god of the seas. We must act. I need to persuade Eli Omar to halt this.
リネット、落ち着け。
Shelby grabbed my shoulders and made eye contact to soothe me.
あの男には言っても無駄だ。利益しか見ていないからな。耳を貸すわけがない。
We can't just stand by and do nothing.
わかっている。だから私が交渉をしてこよ
う。What?
安心しろ。絶対に計画を阻止してみせる。お前の両親の神殿の上に新しい施設など作らせはしない。
Despite his skepticism towards the gods, he was deeply serious about this issue, primarily because he saw the extent of my distress. But how?
実はずっとあの島を買い取る計画を私は進めていたんだ。今度はこちらから勝負を仕掛ける。
You're gonna buy his island? How are you gonna do that? He wants to buy you. Huh? A plan to buy the island? I was aware that Shelby had been privately working on something, but this revelation was wholly unexpected. I had presumed that Shelby's secretive plan was merely to thwart Omar Holdings' attempts to seize Cupid Corp. It appeared that Shelby aimed to not just prevent the acquisition, but to gain an advantage over them.
お前を守ると言っただろ。
Slight look. His icy blue eyes glinted defiantly. I know, I like his eyes. His expression was utterly fearless. That was quick. Not backing down. That counterattack was not really a counterattack. It was just talking. Whatever. The next day, Shelby secured a meeting and we headed to Demore Paradise as CEO and his secretary. We passed oblivious tourists who were enjoying the resorts as we made our way to Omar's office. I can't talk.
やあ、スネイル君。よく来てくれたね。
Mr. Omar was practically dripping with arrogance. Though much younger than Shelby, he stared challengingly as though he held the upper hand. I'm glad he didn't continue to pursue Lynette because that was going to be annoying, especially with Shelby getting all jealous about it.
それで今日はどんな話を聞かせてくれるんだい？ようやく売る気になってくれたかな。
Unfazed by Mr. Omar's attitude, Shelby calmly presented a prepared document.
残念だが君の望むような話ではない。今日は私の方から提案を持ってきた。
提案一体何を持ってきたのかな。何をしても今さら無駄だと思うが。
Mr. Omar's tone was dismissive, but as he glanced at the document, his smug grin faded.
これは
ああ、島の買収についての提案だ。この内容ならば文句はないはずだ。それとも何か不満でもあるか？
Now it was Shelby's turn to glare defiantly as Mr. Omar awkwardly smiled, reading through the proposal. Shelby was not one to back down from a fight. He would crush anyone who dared to challenge him.
なるほど。私が提示した金額からこの数字を導き出すとはね。魅力的な提案じゃないか。フランス本社が得するようになっているし、発展も見込める。この話に乗らない企業は確かにいないだろうね。よほど本気らしい。随分と我が社のことを調べたのだろう。
君ほどではない。だが君の調査は甘かったがな。私の妻を利用して私を揺さぶろうとしていたようだが、あいにくリネットはそんな女性ではない。彼女を見くびるな。
His declaration was full of confidence. His trust in me filled me with happiness.
確かに。私は見くびっていたようだ。この私の誘いに乗らない女性はこれまでいなかったものでね。正直驚いているよ。もっとキューピッドコーポレーションの買収は簡単に済むと思っていたからね。
残念だが買収も結婚相談所の運営もそう簡単な話ではない。随分と我が社から現場の人間を引き抜いたようだが、プランがずさんだったな。今はダムールパラディの売り上げでオマールウェディングの赤字を補填しているそうじゃないか。
I didn't know how he researched it, but Shelby took out the financial reports of Omar wedding. I had no idea. It was true that maintaining their level of service would be a challenge. They must have enticed Cupid Corp staff, who were otherwise content with a hefty sum, but Mr. Omar was still in the red despite that.
どんな事業も最初はそんなものだろう。予定通りだ。
現場の人間がいなくなっていて、それが予定通りだとでも言うつもりか？
Are people quitting on him? Losing ground level employees. I was surprised at hearing this new revelation, prompting Shelby to continue.
想定を上回る赤字のせいで現場の人間の給与を下げざるを得なかったようだな。おかげで少しずつだがうちに戻ってきている。
Really?
ああ。今では皆生き生きと CC で働いている。まるで悪夢から覚めたようにな。
それは君が声をかけているからだろう。社長直々ご苦労なことだ。そんな必死な姿を見られるとはね。
それぐらいできなくて何が社長だ。社員がいてこその企業だろう。いくら還元で惑わせたとしてもそこに誠意がなければ誰もついてきやしない。本国ではどうだか知らないが、ここロサンヨークはそんな甘い土地ではない。
確かにオマールホールディングスの名が広く響き渡っているフランスでのやり方が ここでは通用しないのは理解した。だからといってこのまま君の提案に乗るのは尺だな。どれだけ魅力的な内容でもね。
You're gonna be stubborn too. Mr. Omar smacked the paper away dismissively and stood.
悪いがこの提案は断らせてもらうよ。そう簡単に提案に乗ったと知られれば我がオマール家の沽券に関わるからね。それに同じ男ならわかるだろう。引いてはいけない時があると。
Yep, he's bringing personal into it.
君とは勝負し足りないんだ。負けはまだ認められない。
随分とプライドが高いみたいだな。
プライドが高いのはお互い様だろ。君が最初の提案時に CC を売ってくれていれば今頃君も彼女との時間がもっと取れていただろうに。
私が断った時点でお前が手を引いてくれていればの間違いだろう。
Glare. This is tense. Shelby and Mr. Omar appeared completely at odds. Fighting like cats and dogs, oil and water don't mix. Those were the phrases that came to mind. Their rivalry was not unexpected given that they were from competing businesses, but their contrasting personalities added to hostility. Their principles, objectives, and strategies were diametrically opposed.
よくわかったよ。君と分かり合う日は来そうにない。
Now it's survival of the fittest.
同感だ。
君はいくら積まれてもキューピッドコーポレーションを売るつもりはない。そうだね。
無論だ。お前もだろ。
もちろんだ。つまりこのままでは話し合いはいつまで経っても平行線になる。ということでシェルビー君。
勝負？
ああ、どうせ私も君もどれだけの条件を提示しても誘いに乗りはしない。だが一度始めた事業をすぐに畳むほどオマールホールディングスは弱腰じゃない。当分は今のまま運営していくつもりだ。つまり互いに食い合う状態が続くというわけだよ。客を奪い合い、社員を奪い合い、共に弱体化するのは君も望まないだろ。
無論だ。だが私は負けるつもりはない。
ああ、そうだろうね。だがオマールも一度食らいついた獲物をやすやすと逃したりはしない。オマールが死ぬのは捕食された時だけ。自滅などしやしないよ。だがそれでは勝負が決するのに時間がかかりすぎる。だからカジノで勝敗をつけるんだ。このダムール・パラディ島と君の大切なものをかけてね。
カジノで？正気か？
正気さ。我々の大切なものをかけてカジノで勝負するんだ。私が勝ったら君の大切なものをもらう。君が勝ったらこの島が手に入る。シンプルな話だろ。君も早くこの件については解決したいはずだ。どうかな。
The island. Duel Paradise was where we had enjoyed our honeymoon. I had an idea of its asset value from what Shelby had been discussing earlier, but wagering the island was an immense risk for the Omar family.
よほど勝負に自信があるようだな。
君は自信がないのかな。
Mr. Omar taunted him.
これは君にとって有利な条件だと思うけどね。まあこの程度の勝負に臆するというならばそこまでだと軽蔑するだけだが、ハイリスクハイリターンはビジネスの基本だろ。
いいだろう。勝負に乗ってやる。
Shelby won't lose. He is all SS. It was obviously bait, but Shelby took the challenge.
すぐに甘い見通しだったと後悔することになるがな。
He's probably gonna crush you at the casino.
君ならそう言うと思っていたよ。さすがはシェルビー君だ。では勝負は明日このダムールパラディのカジノで行うとしよう。時間は17時でいいかな。
構わない。
では決まりだ。
To my surprise, the match was arranged with ease. Before I could fully comprehend the situation, Mr. Omar retrieved a recording device from his pocket with a smug grin.
ああ、ここでの会話はこれで記録させてもらっている。今さら撤回はなしだよ。
I'm sure he's gonna wager the company, right? He said, wager what you cherish most. He's not gonna give up Lynette, though. Right?
私の話を聞くまでもなく、最初からこれが目的だったのか。
これがうちのやり方だ。欲しいものは必ず手に入れる。オマールホールディングスの。ね。
Well, he's gonna be in for a rude disappointment. Omar Holdings, a long-established company of France, it's no bluff that they've done business in many industries for years. Mr. Omar's assignment to Lost York as vice president of Omar Holdings confirmed his ability. His mission was not only to absorb Cupid Corp, but also to venture into other Lost York businesses.
ではまた明日。君を手に入れられるのを楽しみにしているよ、リネット。
Did he really just say that? He's assuming that it's going to be Lynette. Huh?
は？何を言っている？賭けに彼女は関係ないだろう。
But you're not paying attention. He said what you cherished most. How could you not pay attention? You should have been upfront about it and said it in your own tongue, Cupid Corp.
聞いていなかったのかな。私はこのダムールパラディ島と君の大切なものをかけると言ったんだ。それとも君の大切なものは CC だけで彼女は含まれないとでも言うつもりかい？
今さら何を？卑怯だと思わないのか？
卑怯？そもそもキューピッドコーポレーションだけで賭けが成立するとでも思っていたのか。
He's a low man indeed if he values destroying Shelby over money. My goodness.
このダムールパラディ島とキューピッドコーポレーションでは資産価値が違いすぎる。公平な取引とは言えない。
We weren't talking about balanced exchanges. We're talking about a fair bet.
だからこの賭けには彼女も含ませてもらうよ。君が欲しいんだ、リネット。
He's giving me the ick. But why?
君が好きだから。それじゃ理由にならないかな。
No, you're not. You just don't want Shelby to have her. Mr. Omar's expression suggested he wasn't entirely serious. I know, right? As a former Cupid, what he was feeling was far from romantic or loving. It seemed like he was just trying to provoke Shelby.
君が勝てばこの島が手に入る。私が勝てば君は大切なものを全て失う。実にスリリングな勝負じゃないか。男に二言はないと言うだろ、シェルビー君。君はさっき勝負に乗ると言った。それとも今さら尻尾を巻いて逃げるかい？
Shelby looked conflicted. He felt the conditions were unreasonable. Yet backing out would signify a lack of confidence. In a duel, turning one's back meant you were easier to stab in the back. I smiled reassuringly at him. I'll be fine, Shelby.
何言って。
I trust you. You won't let him lay a finger on me. I believe that you'll win. Everything will be alright. Shelby looked at me, mixed emotions clouding his gaze, but a few seconds later he seemed to have made up his mind. With his arm around my shoulder, he locked eyes with Mr. Omar.
いいだろう。明日の勝負は予定通り決行だ。だが、絶対にリネットを渡しはしない。
Oh man, he is serious.
どうかな。
He's gonna tear you apart. It was like watching a standoff between two divine beasts. That's funny. Sparks seemed to fly between Mr. Omar and Shelby. Shelby then guided me away, his arm still protectively around my shoulder.
では、失礼する。
ああ、明日の勝負を楽しみにしているよ。よければまた、スイートルームに泊まっていくかな。
Was there stuff that wasn't translated? I heard sweet room in there. Mr. Omar offered a composed smile as he dangled a room key in his hand. I know. Why didn't they translate that? I don't understand.
結構だ。
I know, right? I wouldn't take that either. I would smack that thing away. Shelby stared at him icily. Look at that face. Oh my goodness. We departed to board Paradise and made our way home. Shelby's silence continued as he drove. He didn't appear angry, rather he seemed to be reflecting on his actions, his expression unreadable. Then we pulled into our home garage. But Shelby didn't get out of the car. He hung his head low for some reason. I think this is the save file. Alright. Save over this one because it's save file 2. Alright. It's funny, during load 1, whenever you say don't worry about his health, the choices are completely different, which is funny. I mentioned it at the first episode of this, that one of the bad ends said all that. This is not in it at all. What did it say? Talk to him, I think it said. Yeah, we're gonna talk to him. Shelby, we're home. What's the matter?
いや、反省していると言うべきか。
Oh, he's feeling bad.
もっと他にいい返し方がなかったのかと考えていたんだ。
What else could you have done? As far as I can see, we're at a standstill.
だが、お前自体を賭けに使うと言われた時点で、きちんと交渉すべきだった。いや、そもそも逃げ出せばよかったんだ。お前以上に大切なものはない。会社などくれてやると言えば。
No, Shelby, Cupid Corp is important to me too. It's not just your problem anymore.
だが、あんな誘いに乗ったりして気分良くはないだろう。
He believes in you, though. That's what men want, right? I think he said that just to provoke you, Shelby. I really don't mind.
だが、
And let's not forget that if I'm a part of this wager, it means you'll only push yourself even harder, right?
当然だ。お前を誰かに渡してたまるものか。
SS plus. Although he responded confidently, his tone was tense. The thought of him striving harder because of me was oddly comforting despite his ethical complications. Its ethical complications. I knew Shelby would fight till the end, and even if he lost, he would find a way to save me. That was just who Shelby was, and that gave me a sense of security. It's like Lynette wouldn't be able to do anything or something. Like, if he won, and he took Lynette, I'd be getting out of there. I mean, Omar would have to, like, chain me to the wall or something to keep me from leaving. Which I wouldn't put it past him. Don't worry about me, Shelby. I trust you.
リネット。
And besides, Mr. Omar doesn't even like me. I joked in an attempt to lighten the mood. Then Shelby gently pulled me closer. His lips met mine in a fervent kiss. He reached over and unbuckled my seatbelt with one hand, pulling me into a close embrace.
大丈夫なものか。あいつにお前を奪われるなどと思ったら頭がおかしくなりそうだ。
But if that ever happens, I could run away.
そんな手段が通用する相手か。第一、同じ空間にいさせること自体が嫌に決まっているだろう。
You can't breathe the same air as you. Really, that much?
当然だ。指一本でも触れさせたくはない。お前の声も人に聞かせるものか。
He's so possessive. Like, no one can listen to you. His jealousy flared in this rare moment, and he sealed it with an intense kiss. We were still in the car, parked in the garage, not yet inside our house. Yes, I know. The kiss was overpowering, and I pushed him back, but he pulled me back in, holding me even tighter.
もちろん、あんな奴に負けるつもりはない。だが、それでも、想像するだけで気が狂いそうになる。
Without taking out her.
だから、万が一などと言うな。私は絶対負けたりしない。負けるものか。
Oh my goodness, he's like totally taking it out on her. I kissed again, his arms holding me firmly as he revealed his possessive side of him. No, right? Like, oh my goodness. Shelby has never expressed his feelings for me this directly before. Shelby had always been reserved and maintaining an aura of calm composure despite what I knew was underneath. But now he was casting aside his pride to express his desire for me.
本当は人の目に触れさせるのも嫌だと思っていたんだ。
Oh my goodness, man. Why did he thought that?
当然だ。私には愛する妻を見せびらかすような趣味はない。
Not on display. Just by your side.
できればお前を私だけが独り占めしていたいんだ。自分でも強量だと分かってはいる。
I'm glad my husband's never told me this before. I would think he's crazy.
だが普段からそう考えているせいであの時つい言ってしまったんだ。仕事を辞めてくれと。許されない考えだと頭で理解はしている。だがそれでも本当はお前を私だけのものにしてしまいたい。
I had no idea he was this possessive. Libby had always been so independent, he never seemed bothered when I had to head home alone. Because of our work, he didn't always get to spend time together at home, and he always acted as if everything was fine. Could it be that his solitary lifestyle made him more possessive? No, in truth, I'm sure Shelby always had this side to him. Everything had to be SS for him, the prestige parasite, Shelby. In truth, he was a weak man with no confidence in himself. His lack of confidence had him seeking prestige. No matter how high he climbed, he was anxious, earning the nickname Prestige Parasite. That was why he reacted so strongly when I mentioned Mr. Omar's dinner invitations. He was genuinely worried.
絶対に負けるものか。お前は私だけのものだ。
He pulled me into his arms. It was his way of marking his territory, of declaring ownership. Oh my goodness.
誰にも渡さない。
I didn't pull away. Instead, I reassured him with my presence. Given the depths of his feelings, I had a good feeling about the upcoming match. The night before the big day was both thrilling and sweet. Late at night, I found myself awake, watching Lynette sleep peacefully. She was sleeping soundly, seemingly unfazed by the impending match tomorrow. It wasn't that she was unconcerned, she just had full trust in me. Her peaceful face in sleep was the epitome of that trust.
リネット。
Whispering her name was enough to fill my heart with love. She was right. Eli Omar likely included her in the wager to throw me off and shatter my resolve.
ギャンブルには度胸が必要だ。勝負時に保身に走ればすぐに負けてしまう。
He knew that I wouldn't put her in harm's way and tried to agitate me by adding her to the wager. That man didn't love Lynette. Even though I knew that, I was still worried. If I lost, he would take Lynette and try to make her his own.
リネット、私が必ず守る。そばにいてくれ。
I murmured to her sleeping form, gently kissing her forehead. This was the future I had worked so hard to attain with her, and I wasn't about to lose it over a gamble. I knew Eli Omar might resort to less than fair tactics in tomorrow's match. I had to face him in peak condition. I lay back down in bed to sleep and hugged Lynette gently as not to wake her. Her softness under my touch filled my heart with love, and I couldn't bear the thought of letting her be any further away than arm's length. That's why you will crush him at Love Duel. That's funny. Yeah, we're just going to keep reading. This has to be the last one because there's only one choice left, and yeah, there's nothing else. So, unless there isn't a choice in this one, I don't know. The day of the match between Eli Omar and Shelby eventually arrived. She's like, yeah, fancy. There are so many people, and she's not fancy. She's in her same clothes. To my surprise, there was a massive crowd inside the casino. Even the media has shown up. Oh, really?
Yeah, 来てくれたね。
He's the same as always, too.
これはどういうことだ。
They're gonna film it.
我々の勝負はロサンヨーク経済にも影響するだろう。だから立ち会いに集まってもらったんだ。この方が公平だと思ってね。
That seems fair. Whenever you lie and cheat, we'll know it.
それとも嫌だったかい？負けるところを大勢に見られるのはさ。
構わない。負けるつもりはないからな。
そうだね。その強気な態度がいつまで続くのか、私も楽しみだよ。
Their aggressive exchange caused a surge of excitement, stirring the crowd into a cheering frenzy.
おお、さすがですね。
I thought I was about to hear Mal's voice because it was orange.
若きオマールの副社長と愛妻家社長の社長対決、いいスクープになるぞ。
Photographers competed to capture the images of the two adversaries glaring at each other. This was perfect fodder for the press.
リネット、君はあちらの席で待っていてくれ。後で君と語らえることを楽しみにしているよ。
Excuse me, you don't own her yet. You can't talk to her like that. I know, right? My goodness. To prevent Mr. Omar from getting any closer to me, Shelby positioned himself between us, then turned to me.
リネット、確かに今はあの男の手が及ばない範囲にいてほしい。あちらの席で待っていてくれ。
I understand, Shelby. You have my support.
あ。
We held each other's gaze, our fingers intertwining, but we refrained from kissing. Why not? I would have shown everyone that we mean business. Part of it was because people were watching, but in truth I trusted him even if we didn't kiss. The same goes for Shelby. I don't care, I would have flaunted it in his face that you'll never have her. A simple glance was enough to convey our thoughts. Smiling, we parted ways. I did as Shelby suggested and took a seat in what appeared to be a VIP area. After confirming that I sat down, Mr. Omar opened his arms with a satisfied smile.
では早速始めるとしようか。せっかくの1対1だ。ヘッズアップポーカーでいいかな。
ああ、構わない。
He's like, this is my favorite game. Heads up poker, a poker variant designed for one-on-one gameplay, isn't as straightforward as regular poker. I remembered hearing about its unique set of rules. However, Mr. Omar and Shelby's expressions remained unchanged. They received an equal number of casino chips and settled at the table awaiting the dealer shuffle. The dealer's a scam. As the match was about to commence, the media began snapping photos in a frenzy of flashes. Mr. Omar said he was the one that gathered the media here, but does that really mean they're privy to the match's details? This wager involved the fate of the island, Cupid Corp, and me. Were they aware of all that? Good luck. The two presidents duel at a high-stakes match with the companies on the line. Yep, they know. Intrigued, I checked the social media for any leaked information, but found none. What do you mean you found none? Perhaps the media would withhold their reports until the match's outcome was determined. Or maybe they were blissfully unaware of the stakes. What do you mean? This says high stakes. Whatever. Their excitement seemed to stem from the contest's economic implications given the roles that both men played in Lost York's economy.
レイズ
コール
The game proceeded without significant incident. The chips were exchanged in small amounts. It appeared that their poker skills were evenly matched. Despite their stark differences, Mr. Omar and Shelby shared a similarity that intensified the confrontation. If Mr. Omar invited the media, he must be confident in his victory. But Shelby is also SS. I know, right? As I watched, knowing the challenge would not be easily surmountable, I noticed someone nervously approaching me. Uh-oh.
勝負が始まっている
Okay, well, at least it's not some shady person. Owen?
ミラーさんいやスネイル夫人この勝負っていつ始まりました
It started just now, but what's the matter?
それが見てしまったんです以来副社長がイカサマを仕込んでいたところを
To cheat. Okay. What? Cheating? Hearing that word from Owen made me go pale. Cheating? Are you suggesting the dealer's a part of this? Yeah, I knew it, see?
いえディーラーは悪くないんですよあの方は他人を信用してませんから一人でイカサマを仕込んでいました
I guess that makes sense too.
マークドデックと呼ばれるイカサマですカードの背面の図柄に自分だけわかるように印をつけていたんです
Wouldn't someone notice symbols though? I mean, yeah, marked cards is not something unheard of. I would be paying super close attention to the cards. So Mr. Omar can identify the hand just by observing the back of the cards.
そうなりますねヘッズアップポーカーは役を完成させるのが難しいですしだから仕込んだのかと
At least Owen brought it up.
おそらくシェルビー社長の手札を見て確実な時に勝ちに行くつもりでしょう
Oh no. I had to inform Shelby quickly. If he was unaware of the deceit, he was bound to lose.
だから勝負が始まる前にシェルビー社長にお伝えしようと思ってたんですが急に仕事を押し付けられて
I'm sure that was on purpose. Owen seemed genuinely concerned for Shelby. After leaving Cupid Corp, he joined Omar Holdings. When he was caught attempting to undermine Cupid Corp, he expressed remorse and a desire to make amends. He secretly told me this when Shelby was on Nomor Paradise Island. Perhaps Owen is still on Shelby's side. I couldn't discern his true intentions, but seeing Owen's sincere concern I felt, my trust in him began to restore.
すみません私からではきっとシェルビー社長は信じてくれませんだからどうかあなたからお伝えください
I didn't believe this was a trap, so I agree Shelby needed to know. I understand. I think this is another save as well. Yep, it's another save. It's funny. If this is a save, is there an ending where Shelby loses and he loses Lynette and his company? Man, that would be a terrible ending, wouldn't it? Dang. Alright, Owen, you tell him. Owen, you need to tell him. If I leave my seat, it may disturb the game.
それもそうですがでも私では
Don't worry, President Shelby will understand. He trusts you. Shelby had expressed a desire for Owen to rejoin Cupid Corp. Their time working together hadn't been in vain. Reassured by my words, determination filled Owen's eyes. However, just as he turned to leave,
わかりました。私が行ってまいり。
動くな、オーウェン・ヘリオット。お前がイーライ様を裏切っていると裏は取れているんだ。
oh my goodness. Omar did this too, I'm sure. Ah.
何を証拠に。
いくつかの情報を CC に流していただろう。これまでは寛大な処置をされていたようだが、ここで邪魔をするようならば容赦はしないぞ。
Security guards that were waiting in the wings quickly overpowered Owen. The supposed leak must have referred to Owen's visit to my office. Mr. Omar had known that Owen was acting in Shelby's interest. Owen must have indeed seen Mr. Omar cheat, and Mr. Omar assigned extra work to delay Owen.
シェルビー社長、あとは任せま。シェルビー社長。
Owen's plea echoed through the room as he was dragged away. Now's my chance. Capitalizing on the momentarily weakened security, I tried to reach Shelby, but...
失礼。マダムはこちらでお待ちを。
Oh my goodness, man. You need to have Mars or Venus come in here. I'm sure that's going to happen. Huh?
勝敗に影響しますので、スネイル夫人は動かないようにとのイーライ様のご命令です。
No one interfered in his cheating. More security. I was unsure where they come from, but additional guards appeared to block my path. The poker match was reaching its climax. I needed to hurry before Shelby lost due to Mr. Omar's cheating. Despite my best efforts to free myself, I was restrained. Cupid Corp was on the brink of destruction, and our marriage was at stake. If Shelby lost and I had to be with Mr. Omar, I hoped I'd be able to negotiate with him. But such reasoning wouldn't work with someone willing to cheat in a match like this. Mr. Omar had even recorded the conversation to pressure Shelby. If Shelby lost, I'd truly be separated from him. No, I don't want that. Let me go. She punched him. Oh my goodness. I kicked in a desperate attempt to escape, managing to connect squarely in the security guard's groin. Oh my goodness. I mentally apologized as he doubled over in pain, but since it was an emergency, I sprinted to Shelby, but it was too late.
All in.
Uh-oh. At Shelby's words, murmurs rippled through the casino. Oh no. From where I stood, I couldn't see Shelby's hand, but Mr. Omar's confidence was an indicator that Shelby wasn't holding a winning hand. You know, Shelby probably already noticed. I mean, he's all SS, right? He probably knows that it's rigged. I didn't make it. I was so close.
本当にいいのですか？
ああ、問題ない。
Yeah.
随分と弱気なハンドでブラフをかけるものだな。だが、その度胸は買うよ。ヘッズアップポーカーにはハったりも必要だからね。では、結果発表といこうか。
Mr. Omar's composure was rock solid. He was certain of his victory. Every chip in the casino had been wagered on this game. If Shelby lost, it was the end of everything. And then the match concluded. Their hands were laid out on the table, fear gripped me, and I kept my eyes shut, unable to face the results. However, Shelby's voice pierced through the silence, compelling me to open my eyes.
ロイヤルストレートフラッシュだ。
Look at this. SS. It's SS with a dollar sign next to it. That's funny. Huh? Yes. On the table was the strongest hand in poker. Seeing this, Mr. Omar's composure vanished. See? Shelby noticed.
おい、ロイヤルストレートフラッシュだぞ。じゃあまさかスネイル氏の勝利ってわけか？
そんなバカな。ロイヤルストレートフラッシュが出るはずない。違う手札のはずだ。だから私は。
違う手札のはず？見えていないトランプの手札を読んだとでも言うつもりか。
Is he recording him too?
いや、そんなわけでは。
しらばっくれるな。お前はこのイカ様を仕込んでいただろ
イカ様だって。あのオマール氏が。
言いがかりだ。私がそんな真似をするはず。
う。私が気づかないとでも思ったか。このトランプの細工にな。
Shelby held up the card to show the crowd.
このトランプは彼が用意したものだ。この背面には何の手札かわかるように印が入っていたんだ。彼がその印を見ながらポーカーをすることは勝負が開始した時点で分かっていた。だから最初は乗ったふりをしていたんだ。そこで彼に油断が生じるようになった。印にばかり気を取られて本当の勝負に集中できていなかったようだからな。だから途中から私はいくつかのカードの印を消していたんだ。手札を読み間違えるようにな。
That's funny.
消す。
マークドデックはイカ様の上等手段だ。印をつけるインクを消す薬品ぐらい用意しているに決まっているだろう。
See, it's not uncommon to see a marked deck. After saying that, Shelby wiped his finger with the handkerchief. He had been applying a chemical to his fingers to remove the marks during the game. I didn't know he could do such a thing.
カジノも SS だ。
That's funny, even in a casino. Oh my goodness. He really was excellent at everything. I think I need that screenshot right there. Not only had he won the match, but he had also uncovered the cheating and neutralized it. My husband was, as always, perfect. That's so adorable. Mr. Omar laughed, a self-depreciating note in his voice, and resting on his forehead, hand resting.
勝てると思っていたんだから。こんな手段を使っている時点ですでに勝負には負けていたのか。
Yep, you should have just believed in the heart of the cards.
ああ、これは乾杯だ。残念だが私の負けだ。
His admission of defeat triggered a ripple of murmurs in the crowd. Shelby had won. You did it, Shelby. Running up to him with joy and ignoring the cameras clicking around us, I hugged him tightly.
リネット。
Aww, that's cute too. Maybe I'll do that one. I don't know. I don't know anymore.
お、スネイル夫人だ。
Take pictures quick.
愛妻家社長、愛の力で勝つってか。こりゃいい構図だ。
I was aware of the flurry of activity, but I remained glued to Shelby, my joy making it impossible to let go. I continued to clutch him tightly until I heard a gentle scoff from above.
リネット、落ち着け。
I'm just so happy. Just give him a kiss. Give a kiss to the crowd. When Owen informed me about the cheating, I had gone as pale as a sheet, as if all the blood had drained from my face. I panicked, thinking Shelby might lose, but he didn't. He had made extensive preparations before this match.
私もだ。これでお前を誰にも渡さずに済んだ。愛している、リネット。
Aw, why couldn't we get that CG? Dang it. I don't like. Why did you black it out? Could have easily just altered the CG. It's been done before. Whatever. Shelby, disregarding the many eyes upon us, pulled me into a tender kiss. A cheer erupted around us.
お、こりゃいいや。
いやー、本当に愛妻家社長なんだな。
This makes me happy. I enjoyed this episode. I think this is my favorite.
シェルビー社長にはかなわないな。
You should have underestimated him. The voice belonged to Mr. Omar, who stood up and walked away, leaving us basking in our victory. With Shelby's triumph, the threat of Cupid Corp's acquisition vanished. Anyway, that's the end of Shelby's route. I accidentally recorded the ending as a part of this episode, and I had to cut it out because I guess I wasn't paying any attention to the titles, and I missed where it said sweet and spicy one because I went to look at Ryuki's and it was obvious that it was sweet and spicy because it said it on there, but I think I missed it somewhere. I'll have to go back and see if I catch it editing. But it said sweet and spicy in Finn, so that was obviously the ending. I had to cut it out. Anyway, that unfortunately Shelby's route was predictable, but I still enjoyed it. As soon as everyone stopped her, I'm like, he's just gonna know. He's all SS. Like, you can't get past him. Anyway, if you guys did enjoy, drop a like down below and or subscribe. And we got Shelby's endings next, and then Shelby's bonus episodes. So look forward to that, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.